Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on the provision that 1U Lincolnshire can offer residents of the county. I'm Alison. I'm the referral generation lead for 1U Lincolnshire. So me and my team work very closely with partners across the county to ensure as many people as possible can get access to 1U Lincolnshire and the services we offer. I'm sure we're all pretty au fait with this by now, but please do use the chat and the Q&A function. My colleague Nicola will be hopefully helping me out by answering the chat and sharing with me what people are asking. So please do feel free to use that throughout the course of the webinar. We're hoping to be around about half an hour, so I'm sure I will crack on if that's all right with everybody. Okay, so hopefully some of you might know about 1U Lincolnshire, but who are we? So we are a healthy lifestyle service. We're commissioned by Lincolnshire County Council. There's also a little bit of contribution from Lincolnshire CCG as well. So we offer provision for Lincolnshire residents to stop smoking, drink less alcohol, move more and eat well and lose weight. It's perfectly possible for a resident to access more than one of our pathways. And through the roles that you all have within Lincolnshire County Council, we hope that this might be something that you might feel appropriate to signpost some of your service users to. So our smoking cessation support is for people over the age of 12 currently smoking tobacco. We support people to stop smoking over a 12-week programme. We offer this currently through one-to-one telephone calls supported by nicotine replacement therapy. Our smoking cessation pathway is self-referral. It always has been self-referral. And it's free at point of contact for the clients who come into our service. The way that you can support people who might smoke who come into service with you guys is literally by just asking them if they'd like to quit smoking, and if so, make a referral to 1U Lincolnshire. And that's under the principles of very brief advice. So we have a trained team of smoking cessation practitioners. They operate across the county. Eventually, they will be going back to delivering clinics and GP surgeries. The support that they offer is underpinned by, like I said earlier, combination therapy of nicotine replacement supported by behaviour change. We also offer intervention and support when people have quit, so at a 12-week point and the year point. And we also offer support for people who might have relapsed as well. So that's our smoking cessation pathway. We're also able to offer physical activity support for people who are doing less than 150 minutes of physical activity a week. As the slide says, we offer a variety of different levels of support, and that is partly depending on what the client wants to do a little bit more of. So whether they prefer group activities or one-to-one, or they like to be in a gym, or possibly if mobility is a little bit of a problem, it might be that some one-to-one sessions are more appropriate. That's when our triage team and our physical activity team will help work out what's the most appropriate service for somebody. It's worth pointing out that exercise on prescription is a pathway that does require a referral from a healthcare professional. So we will revert back to GPs for that sign-off. We do have access to a virtual gym, our very own The Other Room gym. So it's got lots of live workouts, and it's also got progression and activities in the vault where people can kind of do a workout at a time that suits them. So that's Move More. We also offer a variety of different types of support for people who'd like to lose weight. So that's for people with a BMI of 30 or greater. We have our own Lose Weight programme, Lose Weight With. That's run by our team of adult weight management practitioners. They operate groups currently virtually via Zoom. Eventually, we will go back to delivering those in leisure centres. It's a very holistic course. It It offers nutrition and behaviour change support. We talk about portions, we talk about drink, and what makes a good plate of food, a nutritionally good plate of food. Every session also has 30 minutes of light physical activity as well. We can offer Slimming World or WW vouchers. So they're in different stages of getting back to face-to-face delivery, both of those programs right now. Weight Watchers are offering, I think they're offering speedy groups. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they are operating some of those across Lincolnshire. Slimming World are offering virtual groups soon, and Weight Watchers also have their app. Second Nature's always been a virtual program for us. We tend to triage people into Second Nature who are quite highly motivated and possibly rurally isolated or quite remote, and they don't want to go to maybe some group sessions. Second Nature is it's an online platform. People get posted out scales and a health kind of box and an activity tracker. It's a very successful program, Second Nature. For guys, we have Man v Fat Football. We have football leagues literally just reopened in Skegness, Boston and Lincoln. This is a male weight management program underpinned with the concept of five-a-side football. So teams will compete against each other in a league, and goals can be scored for people who undertake weight management challenges. So it might be keeping a food diary, it might be losing some weight, and then they play five-a-side football. We can also offer a challenge, a Man v Fat challenge as well, which is similar in the fact that it's also a male weight management program. We can offer support for clients who want to reduce the amount of alcohol they're consuming if they're consuming over 14 units of alcohol a week. Again, we could offer a variety of different types of support, which again, our triage team will support the client to understand which one might be most suitable for them. We can offer some one-to-one sessions on behaviour change with our team of health coaches. They're really about exploring the relationship that somebody might have with alcohol, the patterns around somebody's drinking, and help set kind of small achievable targets to reduce that consumption just to under about 14 units a week. We offer virtual group workshops as well around mindfulness and alcohol awareness and craving management. And for people that prefer a challenge-based or activity kind of tracking type pathway, we have our own app where you can track the amount of alcohol you drink. You can also make some correlations between the types of foods that you might eat as well. So it's a food tracker as well. And for people that want to abstain, we can offer a 28-day challenge to abstain from alcohol with 1 year no beer. So who supports our clients? So we have teams across all of our pathways, but for people that might need a little bit of support before accessing our smoking cessation or adult weight management, for example, we have a team of health coaches, and these guys are really highly skilled at offering telephone-based support to help clients with behaviour change, to increase their confidence and their motivation before they access our weight loss or our physical activity courses. Those guys are very, very skillful at what they do. And again, like I say, eventually they will be back to a GP surgery, hopefully, or a children's centre delivering those clinics. So how do we do it? During a client triage phone call, we will assess the individual's needs. So we'll work out which pathways, and there may be more than one, that a client's eligible to access. Then we'll work with the client to work out how confident and how motivated do they feel to make this change, which really helps us pinpoint which of our pathways within a program, so within adult weight management, for example, might be the most appropriate for that client. Fundamentally, it's the client's choice about what they might like to access with us, and indeed what order, if there's more than one pathway, they'd like to access those. And in that phone call, they'll get assigned their first appointment with their course practitioner, whoever that might be. Generally, those phone calls take around 10 to 20 minutes. And currently our waiting list means that we're getting through to people within a week of receiving a referral. So for you as Lincolnshire County Council colleagues, if you were talking to a service user, how would you make a referral? You would use our website. So if you go to oneyoulincolnshire.org.uk, you can make a referral using that little green form at the bottom, the little screenshot. We asked for the name of the client. We asked what GP they're at. We asked what GP surgery they're at, just in case we need to follow up with a GP if we've got any concerns about any health conditions that they might have. And that referral lands in our nhs.net account. And from that point onwards, we will go on and support that client. So who to refer? Basically, you can refer anybody who meets the pathway criteria. So people who smoke, people with a BMI of greater than 30, people undertaking less than 150 minutes exercise, or people drinking more than 14 units of alcohol. You can also refer carers. We work very closely with the carers service and Carers First as well. So here we go. Here's a little bit of client feedback. It will change your life. Do it. They're very friendly and they're all very supportive in everything you do. Okay, so here's a story from a client. I'm going to read it because sometimes the screens can be a bit tricky. Like many others during lockdown, David had noticed he was smoking more and he was drinking more alcohol. The two seemed to go hand in hand. That's when David decided it was time to sign up for our support. It was time to tackle those pesky habits. David got into contact with One New Lincolnshire after hearing about our services through his employer. He self-referred into the Stop Smoking pathway, and whilst receiving support from the programme, he also took up the Ultimate Drink Less Challenge. David challenged himself to go dry for 28 days with our partners, 1 year no beer. Amazingly, David has been quit smoking for 6 weeks and has been alcohol-free for over a month. David started tackling his smoking habit first. During the initial consultation with his advisor, David discussed what motivates him and any challenges he could foresee, and behaviours typically associated with smoking. One of the biggest challenges David identified was how to be a non-smoker while socialising and attending gatherings. Despite identifying challenges, David remained positive about the prospect of being a non-smoker and continued with his quit journey. During this process, David reflected on many other things in his life and identified drinking alcohol was becoming a habit he disliked. He had learnt to use alcohol for other reasons than enjoyment. Alcohol had almost become a reward at the end of the day. David was aware that he was drinking alcohol on a regular basis, and he did not want to become reliant on this, making it a permanent fixture at the end of his day. Subsequently, David took on our 28-day challenge with 1 year no beer. He also signed up to our online gym, The Other Room. When asked to describe his journey with One New Lincolnshire so far, David said, "It's been great to keep going and be motivated. It's like having a supportive and encouraging friend." When asked specifically about his achievements, David stated he was very content with his progress so far. So, how many people we support like David? In the last 6 months, we've received nearly 9,500 course referrals. So that's people needing to access or wanting to access our support. For our lose weight pathway, 2,300 starters. And at this point in time, 588 of those people have lost 5% of their body weight through undertaking a One New Lincolnshire course. For Move More, so for physical activity, we've had just over 4,000 starters in the last 6 months, of which so far 931 of those starters have risen to above 150 minutes of physical activity a week. Smoking cessation, we've had just over 2,000 quit dates set with us, and of those quit dates, we've had 1,297 of those people quit after 4 weeks. And we do go on to support those guys for at least 12 weeks. Drink less, we've had 621 starters, of which so far 200, just over 200, are below 14 units of alcohol. So, next steps are to see if any of you guys have any questions. I've not been able to see the question. Has anybody got any questions?
Hi, so far, no one's come through with any questions, but please feel free to pop them in the chat now.
I hope that you can see that there might be some possibilities within the provision that we offer for you to make some referrals if you feel appropriate into our service. So all of our pathways are self-referral currently. So if you know of someone with a BMI of greater than 30, all of the other criteria, you can make that referral on behalf of that service user. I think Nicola is just sharing a email address. What referral is made? Okay, bear with. There's some chat.
So what happens if a referral is made and you feel they are not appropriate for you? Would you signpost elsewhere?
Yeah, so it is true to say that sometimes we get referrals come through and it's the case that we need to ask the GP. We need to have a conversation with the GP about whether that referral's appropriate for us. We do onward refer people to, for example, the carer service. We onward refer people to Wellbeing Links, and we have referred people to We Are With You as well. So we do have some really good links with those onward referral partners. A colleague is still trying to access the course. Oh, is that one of our provisions? If so, I think the very best thing they could do is give our triage team a call, and I'm sure Nicola could pop it in the chat. So the way our waiting list works, it's probably worth explaining that. Our waiting list works in a way where we receive a referral, we ring the service user, and they go onto our system. And then we also make 2 more phone calls or text messages. There is at least 3 times we contact somebody, that's how many times we generally engage. If people are already open to We Are With You, can they work with 1U Lincolnshire? They could work with 1U Lincolnshire on our physical activity pathway or our Eat Well Lose Weight or smoking cessation pathway. We'd have to work very closely with We Are With You to ensure we have to work very closely with We Are With You to ensure that that client was ready to come onto our program, because our program is more about reducing below the 14 units rather than helping somebody that's previously had a problem with alcohol. I hope that answers that question, but I can always sign. In fact, Nicola, would you mind putting Laura's details into the chat? So we have a specific alcohol reduction lead, and she would be the very best place to answer that question. So somebody is still waiting to get onto this morning's course. Oh my goodness, but don't worry, we are recording this. And what I'm going to do to people that couldn't make today is we're going to send the recording in an email later this week. So I hope that helps. Are there any more questions? I mean, if you work with larger teams as part of your role at the county council, wonderful, thank you very much, Angela. If you work with larger teams as part of your role at the county council and you'd like us to come and make some bespoke presentations to those teams, please do let us know. We are running 2 more of these webinars. There'll be another one in May and June as well. So you'll see those promoted. Okay, has anybody got any more questions?
Doesn't look like it. You can always email us if you have any further questions at a later point. If you think of anything today that you want a bit more information on, we're happy to. Right, so just to answer this last question, who is Laura? So that's our alcohol pathway lead. So for the people who were asking about the We Are With You question, that's the email to contact her. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. Pleased it's been interesting. Are all the sessions the same? Do you mean all of these webinar sessions, or all of our pathway sessions? All of these webinar sessions? Yes, they'll all follow the same. Yeah, we'll be doing the same presentation because there'll be different people on them each time.
Yeah. Yeah, they are at different times though, in order to hopefully, and on different days to hopefully attract different colleagues. When in May? Oh my goodness, there's a great question.
Really good
Oh,
question.
10 points to Louise. Bear with me. May the 20th. It's May the 20th, yeah. It was on the initial flyer that got emailed out to you all when you clicked. So if I refer somebody in and it really needs a GP's referral, would you arrange this? Okay, yes, of course we would. So the way it works with our, so for example, for our physical activity pathway, the team undertake a PARQ assessment, which undertakes a bit of an assessment about someone's readiness to exercise and whether they've got any contraindications to exercise or underlying health conditions that we might need to check out. And if following that PARQ assessment, we need to kind of go back to the GP, we will do. So don't worry about that. No one will undertake physical activity, or indeed for our Drink Less clients, they undertake the first part of Audit C with us when we triage them. So if somebody's scoring quite high, it's at that point that we'd be either reverting back to the GP saying this person needs some more bespoke support, or onward referring if the client gives us consent to We Are With You. How do we manage repeat referrals? Lots of questions now. Repeat referrals, so they could happen in a couple of different ways. So somebody can only access our adult weight management, physical activity and Drink Less pathways once in a 12-month period. Smoking cessation is a little bit different. We will support people who have relapsed, so that's a bit different. But the idea is that when we triage people, we work so carefully with them to make sure that they access the right pathway when they do come through to us. And if they do need a little bit of support, that's when we'd onward refer them to our team of health coaches before they accessed the adult weight management pathway or physical activity. I hope that answers the question, Rebecca.
We do also have follow-up phone calls with people as well, and our adult weight management team is starting some follow-up group sessions as well, to help people in their either their maintenance phase or if they've got a lot of weight to lose, for example.
Yeah. So I suppose the general message from us is, if you make that referral, if your service user is prepared to have a referral for One New Lincolnshire, as a professional, you can feel assured we will move that referral forward. We'll contact the client at least 3 times to find out if they'd like to accept the referral, if you like. If we've got any problems, we will always go to the GP. And the client will move through our service for at least 12 weeks, if not longer. So hopefully that summarises any further questions. If you haven't got any questions, please do feel free to leave the webinar. If you've got some more, we'll be here for a little while longer yet. But thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
It was a bit awkward, this bit of a webinar, when it's just the two of us. So thank you to each other.
We can just have a little chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the thank yous. I'm pleased it was good and interesting for you. That's great.
Oh, cool.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day, people.